Happening now, instances of animal abuse continue to make headlines in Western New York. A look at the latest involving dogs tied out in sweltering heat. And cleanup continues following a blast of severe weather overnight. Plus, Bon Appetit, a longtime Italian tradition, returned to Jamestown. We detail its heritage now 70 years in the making.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. A viral post showing over a dozen dogs tied out in sweltering heat in northern Chautauqua County is causing concern for animal lovers. This as instances of animal abuse continue to make headlines here in western New York. Last week in Jamestown, police investigated 2 alleged acts of animal neglect, and now law enforcement in northern Chautauqua County are doing the same. Our Alyssa Wright reports.
Cause of concern came to the forefront following a post by Sweet Buffalo highlighting the living conditions of dogs in Sheridan, New York. Now, multiple shelters and rescues are banding together to try to help.
It was brought to our attention that there's about 15 dogs there in poor conditions, heavily chained, with their only form of shelter being like a blue barrel of sorts.
The dogs were allegedly chained up for hours with little to no food or water.
How many days do you need of these animals being chained out in this manner? One is too many. You know, it shouldn't have to come to this.
In general, overpopulation of dogs has been an ongoing problem, not just in our region, but nationwide. And rescue officials feel that breeders are one of the causes.
A public health epidemic at this point is just the number of homeless animals with nowhere to put them. Every rescue that I've talked to a man, every shelter that I've talked to has indicated that it's never been this bad. Well, there's good responsible breeders, but basically it comes down to a simple, mathematical equation. That is, even if there are breeders out there that are breeding, healthy dogs that, take pride in their work and their lineage or whatever else. But at the end of the day, they're putting more and more dogs on a highly overpopulated, situation to begin with.
Even with such a high population, there are shelters willing to take in these dogs and give them a better living situation.
We're providing them with places to put these animals. I guess one of their excuses at Chautauqua County was, well, we don't have anywhere to put them. Well, we do have places to put them.
The only problem is the lack of support from law enforcement.
From our standpoint, it's like, if you as law enforcement are going to be protecting the most vulnerable members of our community that literally do not have a voice, what are you doing? Who are you protecting?
Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office has since launched a formal investigation into the claims of animal abuse there in Sheridan. And many across our region are cleaning up damage caused by severe storms overnight. On Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, severe thunderstorms moved across northwestern Pennsylvania and western New York. As a result of heavy wind and rain, viewers reported downed trees across Chautauqua County. In Kennedy, many reported damages, including this SUV, which was heavily damaged by a falling tree. At around 1:30 in the morning Monday, a tornado warning was issued for parts of Crawford and Warren counties in Pennsylvania. While it's unclear if a funnel cloud actually touched down there, damage to those areas were apparent, with trees coming down and destroying a camper at Shipman's Eddy in Warren near the Allegheny River. Meanwhile, in northern Chautauqua County, Route 5 in Dunkirk was closed just before midnight Sunday after large trees fell over the roadway, taking down power lines as well. The Dunkirk Street Department spent the overnight hours hard at work to clear those debris from the roadway. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter was tracking it all late into the night and this morning. Dakota joining us now with more on the power of these storms. It's just incredible.
Yes, these storms came in pretty much as forecast. The strength was as forecast. And, we told you about this, how it was mainly going to be that damaging wind gust threat, but we also had that threat for isolated tornadoes as well, even though we don't know if we actually had a tornado touchdown in Warren County. We're still waiting to hear from the Weather Service on official confirmation on that. But what you're seeing here, all these icons represent wind damage reports. We've had so many of them, and it's just, it would take me hours to sit here and sift through all these reports, but these were all the wind damage reports across the southern tier in northwestern Pennsylvania. So a lot of damage occurred last night, and it was mainly from that second round of storms that came through last night. Now, the rainfall totals were really impressive here. Take a look at these rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. 3.10 inches here in the city, 2.5 inches in Randolph, 2.48 in Panama, 2.12 in Silver Creek, a little more than 2 inches in Falconer, and almost 2 inches in Clymer. This was well-needed rainfall. Unfortunately, the problem is it all came down pretty much, these thunderstorms were training one after another, so that did produce a little bit of a flooding problem, but it was well-needed rain. You can see all the rain that we had exiting off. Now it's going to be dry and quiet for this Monday afternoon. We started the high yesterday was 84 before the storm. Started the day at 68, 96, and 40 are the records. So through the afternoon, basically just clouds are going to linger around for the early morning, for the early afternoon, mostly sunny, more comfy, 73 to 79. But we still do have a couple chances of rain in the forecast this week. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later in the show, Justin.
Yeah, Dakota, I just got to say, great job too with your coverage last night into the after midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 a.m. So certainly important to get that information to our viewers, and we appreciate it. Well, other news that we're following today, 2 men are behind bars following a fight at the Chautauqua County Fair. Deputies with the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office and Dunkirk police officers responded to the county fairgrounds over the weekend for this reported fight. Now, following an investigation, deputies allege that 22-year-old Hunter Evans of Brockton and 19-year-old Joshua Kelly of Portland engaged in a physical altercation with several minors there. They were transported into police custody and taken to Chautauqua County's jail. They have since been charged with second-degree harassment and endangering the welfare of a child. And the man accused of trying to stab a New York candidate for governor is under arrest, now facing federal charges. 43-year-old David Durbankins had been out on bond on state charges after assaulting Congressman Lee Zeldin during a campaign speech last Thursday. Zeldin was campaigning for governor in Onondaga County when Durbankins rushed the stage using a keychain as a weapon. On Saturday, he was put behind bars once again, this time now on federal charges for assaulting a member of Congress with a dangerous weapon. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Western District of New York says that he had his first appearance in federal court on Saturday. He's expected to be in federal court again this Wednesday. Zeldin was not injured in the incident. Well, summer fun isn't the only thing you might find outside this summer season. As the sun comes out, the ticks do as well. They can be found in wooded areas with high grass and heavy brush and can cause Lyme disease. Lyme disease can cause flu-like symptoms and is easily spotted by its bluish eye-like rash. Epidemiologist Dr. Becky Dawson warns of the consequences.
Long-term health consequences of Lyme disease can require, lengthy doses, weeks to months of antibiotic treatment in order to kind of get the bacteria out of your body fully.
Now, it's important to do a tick check each time you come back from an outdoor activity. It's not just on yourself, but also on your furry friends, too. As we continue, an update on the fatal shooting which has claimed the life of a police officer in Rochester. And later, more on new legislation that would bar conversations on sexuality and gender identity for some local students in our region. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
A man charged with fatally shooting a Rochester police officer and wounding the officer's partner and someone nearby has pled not guilty in that act. During a brief court appearance over the weekend, Kevin Vickers pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder, attempted murder, assault, and weapons counts. He was held without bail. According to police, the 21-year-old fired multiple rounds into an unmarked parked vehicle late Thursday, killing 29-year-old veteran officer Anthony Markeski and wounding officers Singo Seng. A 15-year-old girl in a nearby house was also shot. And a Seattle area man is facing federal charges for calling threats into a grocery store in Buffalo. Prosecutors say 37-year-old Joey George called a Top supermarket not far from the location where a gunman killed 10 people in a racially motivated attack just 2 months ago. On Tuesday, he allegedly asked a worker who answered the phone how many black people were in that store. He then reportedly said he was nearby and might even be in the store. And if he didn't see anyone inside, he'd drive to the Tops where the deadly shooting took place. Prosecutors say he then called back the next day, ranting about a race war. The complaint also accuses George of calling a restaurant in San Bruno, California in May and threatening to shoot black patrons there. Legislation that bars conversations on sexuality and gender identity passed in PA State Senate last month. Opponents to the legislation call it the Don't Say Gay bill. This bill prohibits those conversations until after 5th grade. The lawmakers who sponsored it say those conversations should not be happening until 6th grade, which is the start of basic sexual education in Pennsylvania. They say it also makes teachers and school counselors subject to lawsuits if they don't report a mental health crisis to students' parents.
And so something's happening with their child that they're struggling with, the parents should know about it.
These teachers and counselors are the people who help students prepare for difficult conversations with their parents.
Those opposed say the bill not only includes harsh punishments for teachers, but also prohibits basic classroom dialogue, especially for those in the LGBTQ+ community. The bill currently sits in the House Education Committee for further consideration. And if you spent any time on the shores of Lake Erie this month, you've likely noticed a big ship canvassing the water. And it's very large, with a very big job to take pictures of the lake floor. Erie News Now's Kara Coleman was able to board the NOAA Thomas Jefferson vessel to learn more about its mapping mission.
Well, after 19 days of canvassing Lake Erie, the NOAA Thomas Jefferson is back in port here in Cleveland. The crew disembarking and taking a bit of time on dry land before they get back out there. And they're actually going to be heading back to our area. The crew was joking, hey, we'll give you a ride back to Erie if you'd like. But they're going to be heading back to the waters of Presque Isle this week, actually, to do more mapping of the lake bed, basically taking pictures using solar beams to map out the lake floor, and it's actually a job that is well overdue.
The lake bed around Erie hasn't been charted officially since the 1940s, so a lot can change in that time, and we needed to do more updated charting of that area to find out if lake bed had shifted, if depths had changed, and if there are any navigational hazards that people weren't aware of.
Yeah, and we were able to spend a couple of hours with the crew on board. It's really fascinating missions that they are on. And it's not just Lake Erie around Presque Isle. It's here looking at the lake in Cleveland, other parts as well. And they're going to continue that mapping mission until October to give an updated idea of what lies below the water. And actually, the Thomas Jefferson, it's typically a ship that is mapping the ocean floor. But yeah, it's in the Great Lakes for the first time in some 35 years. Here in Cleveland, just outside the NOAA Thomas Jefferson. I'm Kara Coleman. Back to you guys.
All right, Kara, thank you so much. That is such a cool thing to see and definitely needed for our region. Well, coming up next, why Starbucks might not be able to keep their public restrooms open in the near future. What's at issue? And later, an update on COVID at the White House. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast now that things have calmed down in many places like here in Randolph. Stay with us. We'll be back just after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and I wanted to start off with this beautiful shot over the city. Rob Singular sending this in to us from the storms last night, and man, I mean, you know, this is a panorama shot, and of course, Rob Singular is a, you know, he takes a lot of magnificent photos. Of course, he's a photographer, so I mean, you know, he takes a lot of great pictures, and this is just one of them. So thanks to Rob for sending that in. And if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense Weather page on Facebook, and always use that hashtag #MyLocalWX. And boy, did we need that rain. Our seasonal total now is up to 5.18 inches. That's for the summer season. And understand, you know, we talk about it all the time. Summer records are kept from June 1st all the way until the end of August. And that knocks our deficit down to 2.82 inches. So we're still running below normal rainfall, but that rain was well needed last night and especially through the day on Sunday. So the chance of rain over the next 5 days really is going to be dry through Tuesday. Our better chance of rain will come on Wednesday, a few more isolated showers Thursday, then we dry out for the weekend. So hey, it's dry and calm out there right now. From the HD News Now cam, 71, a northwest wind of 14. That cold front has brought our winds back to the northwest. That's why it's cooler today, and the dew point down to 59. So it's definitely not as muggy and sticky as it has been. But we are watching the muggy meter because we will stay in the comfortable category or the pleasant category through tomorrow. The humidity spikes up Wednesday and Thursday. Then it starts to retreat again by the time we go into the weekend. So there's our cold front that has crossed. So all that activity that sparked out ahead of the cold front is now further off to the east. And notice the clearing skies out there with an area high pressure building in. That is going to stay here through through at least tomorrow. So the newest run of the computer modeling shows you really nothing through the afternoon hours today. Just clouds will start to thicken up as we go into early tomorrow morning. This is by about 1:50 in the morning. You'll see, we'll call tonight partly cloudy on average. There will be a chance for an isolated shower mainly in the morning. This is around 9 a.m. So again, there will be a chance for an isolated shower in the morning. I think that'll be our better rain chance. A couple scattered showers could be possible through the afternoon. But again, we put the chance of rain tomorrow at a 20%, so that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be totally dry. But again, that doesn't mean it's going to be totally wet either. But a couple isolated showers could be possible. So we start the day at around 56, 72 at noon, 77. Mainly dry, but again, chance for an isolated shower could be possible. Now the next 7, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So there's the humidity coming back on Wednesday, 79, a few scattered afternoon showers and storms. Turns more isolated on Thursday, 75, then another push of at least more refreshing air by Friday, 75, 79 on Saturday. Lots of sunshine, and then we turn a little bit warmer again, Justin, on Sunday. But at least for now, we're not seeing any big time heat, at least over the next 7 days.
Which is good, for sure, because I know a lot of people looking for some of that relief there, Dakota. Thank you very much. Well, around the nation now, Starbucks' CEO is signaling the coffee chain may not be able to keep its public restrooms open. Earlier, Starbucks announced it's shutting down 16 of its stores due to safety-related concerns. The company's officials say they received multiple in-house reports where staffers reported drug use by customers and the general public on their property. The shortage of public restrooms in cities like New York underlines a national problem. Despite being one of the wealthiest countries in the world, the U.S. averages only 8 public restrooms per 100,000 people. That's the same as a comparatively economically disadvantaged African nation of Botswana. Now, public policy makers say Starbucks reevaluation creates a pressing need for local, state, and federal governments to prioritize public bathroom access. President Joe Biden's condition is improving following last week's COVID-19 diagnosis. On Sunday, Biden's physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, said the president's main symptoms right now is a sore throat. He called the development encouraging, saying that it's an indication that his body is clearing the virus. Dr. O'Connor also said other symptoms, including a cough, body aches, have diminished considerably. He also said Biden's blood pressure, respiratory rate, and temperature are all remaining normal. Meanwhile, Biden will continue being treated with laxative. He also remains in isolation until he tests negative for COVID-19. And new today, the World Health Organization has declared the monkeypox outbreak a public health international emergency. That decision comes as cases of viral diseases have been rising not only here in the U.S., but also around the world. Cole Higgins has the latest.
The outbreak has continued to grow.
The World Health Organization announcing Saturday morning that the monkeypox outbreak is now a public health emergency of international concern. It's the highest alert level the WHO can declare, and it means that monkeypox has spread to the point where a coordinated international response may be required. The declaration comes after the WHO's second emergency committee on the issue on Thursday.
This is an outbreak that's concentrated among men who have sex with men. That means that this is an outbreak that can be stopped with the right strategies in the right groups.
Strategies like vaccinating vulnerable communities. As of Friday afternoon, the U.S. government has shipped nearly 300,000 monkeypox vaccines to states across the country and to U.S. territories, building on the 191,000 doses that were already available to states as of Wednesday.
More people are becoming aware and nervous about it, trying to get vaccines.
Right now, there are more than 16,800 probable or confirmed monkeypox cases reported in 74 countries, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The U.S. is reporting more than 2,800 probable or confirmed cases in 46 states and jurisdictions. And the CDC has now identified 2 cases of monkeypox in children in the U.S. Because the virus can spread through contact with body fluids, respiratory droplets, skin-to-skin contact, and the touching of bedding or clothes, anyone is at risk of contracting the disease. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Cole, thank you. Currently, there are 2 ongoing public health emergencies: polio, which began in 2014, and COVID-19 starting in 2020. Next, Bon Appetit, a longtime Italian tradition returning here to Jamestown. We're detailing its heritage now 70 years in the making.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Slow down, and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights, vests,
please give us some room.
slow down and move over.
When you need help, it's our job
To help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger. This danger is real. Do your part.
Please.
Slow down, and move over.
Move over.
Catch your first defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Well, coming back for the first time in 2 years, many celebrated a decades-long tradition of enjoying authentic Italian-themed cuisines at the 70th St. James Italian Festival over the weekend. Our Bronson Rasmussen was lucky enough to attend.
It's our 70th anniversary of the St. James Italian Festival. After a 2-year hiatus, we're able to come back after the pandemic. We're a little bit of a shorter version, but the booths are full of everything we need.
For this year, many different Italian-themed dishes made their way into the festival, including foods like pasta salad, pizza, and Italian cold brew coffee, and even some baklava from neighboring Albania, brought by the Albanian Orthodox Church.
We are having some authentic Italian food. Most of it is all homemade. We are going to have fried bread dough made by our very own kitchen. We have fried pepperoni balls made of that dough as well. We have meatball subs, sausage subs.
It was not just food that was on display, but Italian culture as well.
The locally famous Italian dancers that are stationed at St. James, they've been dancing for over 10 years, and Sally is one of our lead dancers in that.
The St. James Church has been in operation since 1910, with the festival starting thanks to local Italian families with big hearts.
Years ago, and I'm saying like 70 years ago, all the parishioners would bring their foods and have a big family picnic. Well, the neighborhood would see that and they'd look and they would get invited.
While the festival has been happening for 70 years, organizers would like to see the longtime tradition continue into future generations.
And we're looking to pass on traditions, and this is what we want to keep alive and moving forward.
In the end, the pair had one thing to say about the return of the festival.
Bon appetit. Come and see us.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Alrighty, Bronson, thank you very much. Don't let that tower fall now. Gosh, how did he get stuck with that assignment? Boy, we're missing out for sure.
Well, I'm certainly hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I had no dinner.
No.
You know what my dinner was last night?
These cookies.
Milano cookies.
That's yummy.
But this is not dinner, folks.
It's not dinner.
This is
no.
all I had for dinner last
like
night.
a snack. We should have brought you a sub. Looking at that now, I want an Italian sub for lunch. So I think I might try to sneak out and find one somewhere. So it is good. It is good.
Goodbye. I need to eat lunch.
There's so many great flavors out there too to celebrate. So thank you, Bronson, for that.
Italian food's the best.
That's going to do it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over downtown Jamestown as we're on the hunt for an Italian sub this afternoon. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.